installment of Michael's one-word movie preview show. For like the 5th straight time, guest appearance is Zach. I think he's becoming a regular. But anyway, this week we're going to be previewing a multitude of movies. This is our last show before Christmas. This week we'll be previewing Yes Man, Valkyrie, The Spirit, and Frost Nixon. So we got 4 movies in theaters we'll be previewing, and we also have about 5 DVDs of the week. So hang on tight, it's going to be a long and bumpy ride. Kick things off, we're going to be previewing Yes Man. It's a new quote-unquote comedy starring Jim Carrey, released in theaters this week.
I love these types of movies, you know, when you get to see actors when they have no career left.
Named Jim Carrey. And it's got a couple of funny supporting players, but you know, Jim Carrey's the main draw. But we're actually going to break tradition. We're going to preview this movie in one word.
Ooh.
No. That's all that needs to be said about Yes Man. Moving on. Valkyrie. It's a new movie. It's also coming out in the next week, starring Tom Cruise. It's the movie about, true story, about the plot to assassinate Hitler from inside the Nazi regime. You know, the movie's obviously going to take some creative license with the story. It won't be all the facts, but it looks to be a semi-decent thriller-type movie. I, for one, completely disagree with the casting of Tom Cruise as the lead character. He does not look like a Nazi, and he is not a good actor, especially lately. But, you know, the other side, it could be good because every other actor in this movie besides Tom Cruise is perfectly cast, and there's a lot of good actors in this movie. He's got a good director, Bryan Singer, who brought X-Men to the screen in the first 2 X-Men movies. And he also did a decent job, I thought, with Superman Returns. So,
Could have been better.
you know, Valkyrie could go, it could either be pretty good or it could be really bad. You know, it really just depends on how bad Tom Cruise's performance is. Yeah, it's either going to be a swing and a miss or a home run. Zach, who your take on Valkyrie?
Well, the only actor I hate more than Keanu Reeves is Tom Cruise. And that's only Tom Cruise after he's gotten with Katie Holmes. Before that, he was alright.
Yeah, he was good in Collateral and
Yeah.
Top Gun and The Last Samurai. He has a couple good ones.
Alright, so I'm just going to say, I'm going to give it a pass. Just because I don't like Tom Cruise. Just like last week I said, pass on Day the Earth Stood Still because of Keanu Reeves. It's all about the actors, how you like them, what they bring to the table. Tom Cruise getting old and needs to retire.
Alright. My official rating for Valkyrie is, really, I don't have one. I have to wait till I see reviews from people who have actually seen it. I would not see it opening weekend. You know, maybe the second weekend if I see some, you know, glowing reviews. That's about what it would take for me to see it. So, and we'll be talking about Day the Earth Stood Still in just a minute and a little bit. So next, our next movie that's coming out within the next week is The Spirit, starring nobody except well, there are some people in it that you recognize.
Has to be.
It's got Sam Jackson in it
Yeah.
as the villain. The guy playing the lead, actually playing the Spirit, I don't know him. He's not familiar to me. I guess you could look him up on IMDb, but I didn't, so I have no idea who this guy is. It's a graphic novel adaptation. It's got that graphic novel visual style, so if you're into that, you know, movies like Sin City, 300. But, you know, other than that, it's, you know, it's not going to be as good as 300 or Sin City were. It's going to be better than Max Payne. Oh, man. It'll be better than Max Payne was. You know, it'll be an action, you know. But, you know, I'm not a fan of the graphic novel type movies except for V for Vendetta. That's my exception. But, you know, other than that, I haven't been a fan of really any of them except 300 also. Yeah. But, you know, I wasn't a fan of Sin City. I didn't even give Max Payne a chance.
No,
So,
no one should.
You know, I'll give Max Payne, I'll give The Spirit a rental. Just, you know. But if you're into that kind of movie,
Yeah.
it might be worth a matinee. next preview for movies coming up in the next week is Frost Nixon, which is a movie it's been in limited release for the last couple of weeks. This week coming up is when it's going to be released wide. It'll be in most theaters within the next week. It's a political thriller, true story about the interviews between David Frost and Richard Nixon. This was after Nixon resigned from the presidency, and it looks to be a good political thriller type movie. If you're a fan of those kind of movies, you'll like it. It's going to be very well made, very well acted. There's already been award nominations for Frank Langella, who is playing Richard Nixon. He's already been nominated for Best Actor and for several different awards.